In this video, I show off my recent comic book haul where I spent $250, got some cool keys, a couple Avengers books, and one second appearance at the end that has been absolutely blowing up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, I'm going to show off my recent comic book haul because, as you can see, I'm not in front of my comic book wall. I am currently on the road, so I was able to go visit some different LCSs that I haven't been to in a while. And I picked up a very, eclectic group of books in this pile here today that I'm excited to share with you guys. But before I get into the books, if you guys could, like, comment, subscribe, do one of those things, I would appreciate it. But let's get into the fun stuff here. I'm going to show off this group of books here. And, for me, it's like I always kind of say to you guys, I always say, let books find you, or, buy the deal, not necessarily the book. Everything applies here in this haul today because, when I'm out there and I'm hunting, I'm going and looking for books, I'm certainly, pursuing certain books like Avengers stuff, and I'm looking for keys and things like that. But the books that I have here is like just a total random assortment of things, and all of which I purchased simply because they were being sold under FMV, or I felt like the deal was really good, or it's a book that I've kind of always low-key wanted. And finally, the price was at a point that I was, willing to spend for it. So that includes this first book right here. So this one is a very cool one. This is one that I have definitely been looking for, in all my various hunts. And I finally came across one that I felt like was being sold at a, really good deal. This one right here is Daredevil number 18. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of a character known as Gladiator. This is also the origin of Gladiator. And Gladiator, again, fits that mold, B-tier villain, someone I'm really, really interested in. I've always liked this character. I always feel like the Gladiator has awesome covers. I mean, he's got some great early Silver Age Iron Man covers. He's been a character that's been kind of like in and out of plot lines, all throughout the comic book, Marvel comic universe, but he's never really had that sort of like moment in the sun where he was like really, involved in some kind of epic storyline or something like that. And I would love to see, Gladiator utilized more often, because I just think like his character design is pretty cool. I guess it's a little bit corny, but I think it's like cool corny. As you can see from the price, $18. It's probably a VG, maybe a VG plus. So, decent copy, and I'm super, super happy to swoop this one up. All right, the next book I got here is a very cool one. This is one that I've been looking for a long time, because it is the first appearance of another B-tier villain, one that made his appearance in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I got Shauna the She-Devil number 4, and what is the significance of this? This is the first appearance of a character known as Mandrill. Now, this is basically a near mint copy. I got this for half price, so that would have put it at $12.75. Right? No, $12.50. Math is hard. So I was able to pick this one up. Pretty cheap deal overall. Now, Mandrill is a character that, I think it's pretty cool because he was in Earth's Mighty Heroes. I think he's fits in that world of street level villains that have interesting character designs, kind of like, I don't know, the Griffins and the Constrictors and things like that. And I think Mandrill is a cool character. That being said, I do think that Mandrill is extremely problematic if we're, following, the core to his supervillain character. I don't know if Disney would bring in Mandrill, at least at the version that we see in the comic books. They'd have to, of course, retool him a bit to be a little more friendly for those Disney audiences. But I think he's a cool character for sure overall. And one by one, I'm going down the list. I'm getting every character in that cartoon Earth's Mightiest Hero. So Mandrill, got to check this one off. Obviously, a lot of people have been excited about Shauna the She-Devil recently. She's been kind of utilized in the current comic book run. I know her number 1 issue got really hot in the market recently. So I'm happy to pick this one up. Definitely a cool find in my opinion. Mandrill, who really knows if we're ever going to see him. I think that currently in the comic book storyline, he's actually dead. But he has been used in other, board game properties that I've seen and things like that. So I know that he still exists within the license of Marvel, although he's currently, I think dead. I think he got hunted by Kraven or something like that in a plot line. All right, the next book I got here is a very cool one. This is one that I think has been extremely undervalued for quite some time. But this one right here is Fantastic Four number 65. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of Ronan the Accuser. Also, additionally, this is the first appearance of the Supreme Intelligence, which is, that's the part that really gets me excited about this book. book here overall. Again, another half price book. Got this one for $25. It's a VG copy, you know, a decent VG. Got some breaks along the spine and things like that, but you know, I'm okay with copies like this. And again, Ronan, of course, we know he was in Captain Marvel. We know he was killed, I guess, or he died in Guardians of the Galaxy #1. So, you know, as far as those villains being done thing, you know, yeah, maybe Ronan is not necessarily going to make an appearance in, you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe anytime soon, but I do really think that the Supreme Intelligence is definitely going to make his way back into the, you know, the Marvels movie or Captain Marvel 2. So I feel like this book, you know, for that reason, you know, it's got those two factors going on. I feel like this is still a great key to have. You know, obviously Fantastic Four is getting super hot. So I'm really excited that I found this one, especially at $25. Definitely a good deal in my opinion. I think that this is a book that can absolutely get hot, certainly during Captain Marvel, easily, you know, hitting those 3-figure ranges for sure. All right, the next one here I got is actually this is the second time I got this copy, and I think that this is a really cool book. This one is Amazing Adventures number 15, and there's two things about this one. Number one, it's the first appearance of a character known as Griffin, which you see there on the cover. And number two, it is the first time that Beast actually has blue fur. So that's actually a really, really cool part of Beast history as well. And this is a cool book. This is another, you know, I actually have another copy of this one. Griffin is an interesting character to me. Again, kind of like a mandrill, kind of like a constrictor, kind of like, you know, these random, the Wrecking Crew, characters like that. These random characters that I think, like, you know, I really feel like we're going to get tons of these characters coming soon into the MCU. I could just see them. You know, Abomination is the perfect example of it, where it's like they're going to want these brutes and these punching bags that they can just, like, you know, pull out for any type of movie that they want and then throw them on the raft, you know, whenever they like are done with them or they want to put them on ice. But they're always going to need, you know, recruits or punching bags for like the mega supervillains, because not every property can always involve, you know, Kang the Conqueror or whatever it is. So I like characters like this. I like speccing on characters like this. And, you know, if I get left holding the bag, you know, I still really like it. So that's why I like picking up books like this. Additionally, again, Beast with Blue Fur. I mean, this is one of the cool books to own if you're a Beast fan, in my opinion. Like, if I was going to do a key comic book spotlight video for Beast, I would 100% be including this book, because this is the first time he has the blue fur, and that's the way that, you know, at least in my opinion, that's the way I see Beast. Got this one for $16. Great copy. It's probably a VF, you know, so super happy to have this one. I thought it was a good pickup. All right, next one here is a book that, you know, I already own a couple copies of this, but I thought I would get another one. This is Silver Surfer #1, Volume 3 edition. And of course, this is the Silver Surfer that came out in 1987, written by Steve Englehart. I've talked about this one before, but I truly believe that this run of Silver Surfer is one of the best runs in all of the Silver Surfer comic books. I mean, I think that Jim Starlin obviously gets a lot of credit for his, like, you know, Silver Surfer and Thanos and Infinity Gauntlet and things like that. But this early stuff with Englehart, I think is super, super good writing and really cool world building. Some of my favorite stories in this run. And this is a cool book. I mean, obviously this one will get hot whenever we get Silver Surfer. And, you know, $5, back bin, why not? Like, anytime I see this one for super, super cheap, I'll buy that one all day. All right, this next one here is a very, very interesting one. So you guys know me as someone who likes to spec on B-tier villains, but you know, I rarely talk about B-tier superheroes. Also, I guess, you know, B-tier is being really kind to this character right here. So we're going to call him a C-tier superhero. But I got this for $4. I picked up a copy of Marvel Premiere number 35, first appearance of a character known as 3D Man. Now, I don't know much at all about the 3D Man, except for the fact that every now and again he will pop up in a comic book and I'll be like, yeah, it's that guy. It's like the 3D Man. Or, you know, he was, you know, in this Marvel Premiere run. I've seen him in Marvel 2-in-1s and Marvel Team-Ups and books like that. I know that the current rendition of 3D Man has morphed into like another character. Like, I think his name is like Triathlon or something like that. So, you know, he still exists within Marvel comic books. He's still out there in the mythos, but he's, you know, under a new brand. But again, characters like this, you know, $4, first appearance of like a random hero. I'll spec on this all day. You know, if I find books like this, I'll definitely pick these up, because I think that, you know, they're still a part of history. I still think that this is kind of like, you know, I think it's funny actually to have like these goofy characters like this that Marvel was trying to put out into the world. So I'll definitely always spec on books like this. And then you never know. I mean, if for some reason we end up with a 3D Man, in some kind of Marvel show, or, you know, even in the current comic book run, if they decide to like bring 3D Man back into, you know, the mythos, I mean, who knows? I mean, that stuff, like, it's like when you get these for a couple of dollars, all of a sudden they become like $50, $60 books. You never know with those types of things. All right, the next one here is a very cool book. This is one that I actually always wanted to get for myself just because of like the significance of it. And I was finally able to find this one, found it for $10, super great deal. This is Avengers number 12. And what is the significance of this? Well, if you can't tell by the cover, this is the issue where Iron Man has the Infinity Gauntlet, the Iron Infinity Gauntlet. Of course, we got that famous moment in Endgame with RDJ having all 6 Infinity Stones and snapping his fingers against Thanos. This is the inspiration for that book, a Jason Aaron book in 2010, I believe it is. And what a beautiful cover. I mean, like, I'm someone who, you know, I personally really love the Silver Age stuff. I like the nostalgic looking stuff. But this right here, as far as like modern art is concerned, it concerns me. I love this thing. I think this is like so cool. Like, I love the colors, and I love just like this, you know, what this means now, I think, to the MCU, just this image in this moment, I think are super significant. And I'm really happy that I have Thor 390 and this book, so I can have that Cap wielding Mjolnir and Iron Man having the gauntlet. Maybe I'll put these on my wall and put them next to each other, because I feel like they're kind of like a, you know, they're like a duo now. They're like an Endgame moment duo. So $10, great book. In my opinion, I think a great collector's book to have regardless, and one that I think is always going to be special because of Endgame. All right, next 2 books here I got were, these are some Avengers books that I was actually able to pick up. So I'm really excited to scratch these ones off of my list. And this one right here, I'm really excited about, because this was one that is not necessarily that cheap, or like I haven't been able to find it for cheap until this last time that I was out there. I was able to find this one for $30. This is Avengers number 13, first appearance of Count Nefaria. Now, I actually don't know anything about Count Nefaria. I mean, I've heard the name. I know that there is a Count Nefaria. I certainly did my research and know that he's in this Avengers run. But as far as like, you know, his storylines and his comic books and stuff, I haven't done much reading on it. I mean, I read his wiki a little bit just to educate myself on him. But, you know, I really don't know where he is currently. I don't know where he is in current Marvel comic books. Let me know if you guys are big fans of Count Nefaria, or if you feel like he's a character that should have more involvement. I do know that he is involved in, you know, later Avengers storylines. I know that he's in like, you know, I had a spec book where I was talking about Avengers 165. I know he's involved in that storyline. So Count Nefaria, interesting character. But the more important thing is I get to scratch this one off of my Avengers Grail Run list. This is number 13. So anytime I can get an Avengers, you know, book under for like the $30 price around this for this book right here, I think is definitely a win in my opinion. It's a VG copy, so right in line with what I'm looking for to fill out the run. So super happy to get this one. All right, the next one here is another Avengers minor key. I'd call it a minor key. And this one I'm super happy to get. Again, this last book, the Count Nefaria one, and this one right here are, you know, these are those books that it's like, to me, I'm like, they're, you know, they're not First Vision, and they're not like, you know, First Black Knight. So they're not the mega keys, but these are still like pricey. So it's hard to like try to find these for good deals. But I did find Avengers number 83. This is the first appearance of the, what is called the Lady Liberators. And this is actually, technically, in some way, this is the first appearance of Valkyrie, although it's not, because it's Enchantress dressed up as Valkyrie, and then we would later get, you know, Barbara Norris Valkyrie's first appearance in Defenders number 4. But this one is still kind of a key for that reason, Avengers 83. Able to find this one for $35, a VG copy. Super happy about this. I love this cover. I think this is such a cool cover. The colors on this really pop. You know, it was always one that, you know, when I saw it online on like Go Collect or whatever it is, you know, I always thought it was a pretty cool cover, but seeing it in person, I really love the colors here. And I love having Black Widow and Valkyrie and Medusa there, all the ladies, you know, standing triumphantly over the dudes. I don't know. It's kind of a cool book. Definitely will be excited to read this one, and super happy I got this one, because this is one of those keys that, like, you know, when you go into eBay and you look for this thing, like a low grade copy costs like $120 or something like that. So, you know, I don't want to spend $120 for a book like that. I still got to get First Black Knight. I still got to get First Vision. So, you know, I got to save my money for those reasons. But speaking of not saving money, this is the biggest book I got in my comic book haul right here. This is a second appearance of a character that is absolutely blowing up. I mean, the prices for this character are going nuts. I actually talked about this book in a video I did a long time ago where I talked about undervalued second appearances. And this was one of the books that I personally brought up. I already have a copy. This was my second copy, but I spent $100 for this one. And the reason being that this is actually like a very fine near mint version of it. Super clean copy. But I picked up Marvel Spotlight #6, second appearance of Ghost Rider. And, you know, this is just a book that, you know, for a long time when I made my video about the undervalued second appearances, I did it with Bry's Comics, shout out to Bry. We were talking about second appearances, and this is one that I brought up thinking like, you know, Ghost Rider is such a popular character. His first appearance is going to the moon. Like, I don't know why people don't hop on Marvel Spotlight #6, because at the time when I was talking about it, you could find decent raws for like $25, $30, which was not too bad at all. But, you know, flash forward to now, when we're looking at this book, you know, the numbers that are going for Ghost Rider, when I see this thing being sold on eBay, I'm seeing like 120, 130, 140 for reader copies, you know, like really beat up stuff. So when I came across this one, Marvel Spotlight 6, basically a VF near mint copy, being sold at $100, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to pick this one up, because I think that this is a great book. I think that the Ghost Rider books are going to continue to explode. I think that, you know, it's possible we might see signs of Ghost Rider as soon as Doctor Strange 2. So I really am, you know, looking forward to what's going to happen with a book like this. And Marvel Spotlight #5, of course, already going to be expensive. Anyways, those are all the books that I picked up this past weekend. I spent about $250 or so. So, you know, I thought it was a pretty good haul. I think I'm actually going to eventually do a claim sale on this channel. So let me know if in the comments if you guys would be open to me doing a claim sale live stream. I asked it in a poll, but I was thinking, hey, it might be kind of fun to do it with you guys as the viewers, and, you know, we'll have good deals and stuff. You know, we got to move some of this stuff. I gotta buy more Avengers books, man. So I got some good keys that I'm willing to part with. Anyways, that's my video. Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next one.